Close your eyes and let the world soften around you. Tonight, we wander gently through the hidden temples, quiet deserts, and whispered groves where ancient women of divine wisdom guided souls. Their stories are not of fear, but of lessons carried softly through time like petals on a slow, flowing river. Let us drift together into the realms where moonlight kisses sacred stones, and the spirit of the past hums in harmony with the present. Each tale will cradle you, letting the mysteries of old cultivate a quiet, tender calm in your heart. As soft winds carry us through these stories, feel the gentle embrace of history and myth. We move slowly, peacefully, allowing each divine presence to soothe and restore your soul. If you feel the quiet magic of these stories, let us know in the comments where you're listening from, or simply subscribe so these gentle journeys can visit you whenever sleep calls. Soft silver light spills across the quiet courtyard. The stones are cool beneath unseen feet, and the air carries the gentle scent of jasmine. A slow wind stirs the trees, brushing against the temple walls with whispered caresses. Here, in the hush of twilight, the world feels suspended, poised between night and dream. A lone figure moves along the marble path, her robes catching the light of the rising moon. She is the priestess, keeper of quiet wisdom, her presence serene and unhurried. The soft rustle of fabric and the faint tapping of her sandals on stone create a rhythm as gentle as a heartbeat. Each step is measured, thoughtful, a slow dance in harmony with the night. You float beside her, not needing to follow too closely, only breathing in the calm that radiates from her. The temple doors stand open, dark and inviting, and through them, a pool of silver light reflects from polished floors. Candles flicker along the hall, their small flames trembling like distant stars caught in glass. The air is heavy with a kind of sacred patience, the kind that asks nothing but quiet attention and soft reflection. She turns, her eyes reflecting the moonlight, and nods gently toward the inner sanctum. You drift forward, each step softer than the last, and notice the walls lined with ancient carvings. Their lines curve like water, like vines, like hands reaching upward. They tell of countless lives, of prayers whispered in the dark, of offerings laid gently upon stone altars. The stories are slow, unhurried, and they wash over you like calm waves, smoothing the edges of the mind. In the center of the temple, the priestess kneels beside a shallow basin of water. Its surface mirrors the moon, and a faint scent of incense rises from its edge. She dips her fingers into the liquid, letting it ripple quietly, and as the water moves, it seems to carry away the weight of the day. You feel the rhythm of her actions, the gentle repetition, and it soothes a part of you had forgotten was tense. Her voice is soft, a murmur that blends with the rustle of leaves outside. She speaks in words older than time, in sounds that feel like the wind brushing over a still lake. The meaning is less in the words themselves and more in the calm cadence they bring. She hums a gentle melody, each note lingering in the air like a slow exhale, guiding attention inward, to the spaces between thoughts, to the quiet corners of the spirit. The temple seems alive with patience. The shadows stretch and shrink in the candlelight, moving in harmony with the slow breathing of the night. Outside, crickets add a soft percussion, and the distant hoot of an owl marks the passing of another quiet moment. All around, the world has slowed, leaving only this small sanctuary of moonlight and stone. The priestess rises, and her movements are like water flowing over smooth rocks. She walks to a low altar, where small offerings of fruit, flowers, and simple grains rest. She touches each one lightly, whispering blessings that seem to dissolve into the air. Each gesture is deliberate, a quiet ceremony of care, teaching patience without a single command, showing devotion without hurry or expectation. You notice the faint glimmer of symbols carved into the altar, moons, stars, and small crescent shapes, each worn smooth by centuries of touch. The priestess traces one with her finger, letting her hand hover gently above the surface before it moves on. The air feels heavier with gentle intention, like the weight of something treasured, but it presses not with fear or urgency, only with the stillness of presence. She gestures toward a small group of followers seated on cushions in the temple's quiet corners. Their faces are calm, eyes half closed, bodies relaxed. They listen not with the ears alone, but with every part of themselves. Each follower reflects the serenity of the priestess, like mirrors catching the same moonlight, holding it softly. The rhythm of their breathing joins hers, forming a collective pulse that seems to fill the temple with quiet life. a low chant begins, rising softly, a sound that curls around stone and candlelight. You feel it vibrate through the soles of your feet, through the air, and into your chest. The chant is simple, repeating, not demanding attention, but offering it gently. It is a song of reflection, a melody that allows thoughts to drift past like clouds across a calm sky. The priestess hums along, her voice blending seamlessly with the small murmurs of those around her. You drift closer to the basin again, watching the ripples in the water catch the moonlight. Each tiny wave seems to carry a fragment of the temple's history, soft echoes of prayers, of gratitude, of quiet moments of devotion. The water trembles with memory, yet remains calm, reflecting not turmoil, but a steady, gentle peace. You feel it too in the slow deepening of your breath, in the subtle release of your shoulders, in the soft loosening of your hands. The priestess picks up a small bowl of flower petals, dropping them one by one into the basin. Each petal floats on the surface, drifting slowly, turning gently in the moonlight. You imagine your own thoughts as petals, carried lightly by the water, moving without effort, without need to control, without hurry. The simple act feels like a meditation in motion, and you follow it quietly, letting your mind soften with each floating petal. Outside, the wind whispers against the temple walls, and a faint rustle of leaves drifts through the open doors. It is a sound of gentle continuity, reminding the spirit that life moves in cycles, but cycles need not be loud or sharp. They can be soft, slow, deliberate, and nurturing. You feel yourself held in that quiet rhythm, a small note in the greater harmony of the night. The priestess lifts her hands, palms up, letting the remaining petals float free. The water catches them, carrying them across the surface in smooth arcs. She closes her eyes and exhales, slowly, deeply, and her followers do the same. In this shared silence, you notice your own exhale, slow and measured, the tension of the day seeping out like water through sand. The temple seems to breathe with you, and you with it, in a tender, unspoken understanding. She walks back to the outer hall, her robe brushing softly against stone. The candles flicker and bend in the faint air currents, and shadows stretch long across the floor. The quiet rhythm of the night continues, steady and unwavering. You float behind her, feeling the calm spread through your body, from your head to your toes, each muscle softening, each thought slowing. At the doorway, she pauses, turning to face the moon once more. The silver light falls on her features, serene and untroubled. She raises a hand, palm outward, in a gesture of gentle blessing. The warmth of that presence reaches you, a quiet reminder of patience, reflection, and the gentle strength of devotion. The priestess steps out into the night, and you follow in spirit, feeling the temple's serenity wrap around your mind like a soft blanket. The moon above glows steadily, the stars scattered across the sky like tiny lanterns. Each one reminds you that quiet wisdom exists everywhere, waiting to be noticed when the mind is calm enough to see it. You settle softly into this space of calm, letting the gentle rhythms of temple, moonlight, and slow movement carry you. Thoughts float past like drifting clouds, unhurried, untangled. The priestess's whispers echo faintly, a lullaby of patience and serenity. The world outside becomes distant and slow, a faint hum behind the soft, luminous presence of the temple and the night. Let us drift onward now, following the slow pulse of candlelight and moonlit stone. Let the calm wash through every part of you, every corner of your mind, until all that remains is softness and gentle rest. Let the moonlight guide your dreams, and the quiet teachings of the priestess wrap around your heart. Now rest as the stars return to their places, as the temple breathes quietly in the night. Sleep moves gently toward you, soft as water, slow as the turning of the moon, carrying every thought, every worry, softly into the stillness. The priestess smiles faintly in the silver glow, and you drift at last into the tender embrace of sleep. The desert stretches endlessly under a sky brushed with twilight. Soft winds ripple across the sands, whispering through dunes that rise and fall like slow, gentle waves. The air holds warmth from the fading sun, and a faint chill of evening drifts through, brushing softly against your skin. Here, in this quiet expanse, time seems to stretch and settle, like water pooling in a hidden oasis. In the distance, a small figure appears, standing alone atop a gentle rise of sand. It is the oracle cloaked in light, her robes flowing as if they were part of the wind itself. She moves slowly, her steps leaving faint impressions on the golden dunes. Each movement is deliberate, measured, like the rhythm of the desert breathing around her. You drift closer, carried by the soft, steady flow of the wind, feeling the calm that surrounds her. The oracle stops beneath a lone acacia tree, its twisted branches reaching out like welcoming arms. Beneath it, a small fire burns, sending gentle sparks upward, mingling with the first stars of evening. She kneels beside the fire, letting the warmth rise to her face. Her hands hover over the flames, not to disturb, but to feel the quiet energy that flows from one element to another. The fire crackles softly, a slow percussion that matches the gentle pulse of the desert night. You float nearer, noticing the veils that surround her, thin fabrics that ripple like water in the wind. They catch the fading light, shimmering in hues of soft gold and pale blue. Each veil seems to carry a story, a whisper of a vision, a fragment of quiet foresight. You do not need to understand them fully. Their presence is enough. They move with the air, gentle and fluid, a slow dance that eases the mind and invites the heart to rest. The oracle lifts her gaze to the horizon, where the last warmth of the sun dissolves into night. She hums a soft melody, low and lingering, blending with the desert's quiet sounds. It is not a song of urgency or demand, but of gentle invitation. You feel the hum vibrate in your chest, a slow echo that carries a sense of calm clarity. The desert, with its wide stillness, seems to listen, its sands holding each note as though it were a secret meant for the soul alone. She reaches into a small pouch beside her and pulls out grains of sand, letting them fall between her fingers. Each grain drifts downward slowly, tumbling and turning, catching the firelight and glimmering like tiny stars. The oracle watches them, tracing their movements with a soft focus, seeing not only the sands themselves, but the quiet stories they carry. You drift along with her gaze, letting your mind move as slowly and deliberately as the falling grains. The air carries distant sounds, a faint rustle of desert shrubs, the soft scuttle of unseen creatures beneath the sand. All is quiet but alive. In this stillness, the oracle seems to hear more than the ear can detect. She listens not just to sound but to rhythm, to the subtle pulses of life beneath the surface. Her presence teaches you the gentle art of noticing without hurry, of seeing without expectation, of feeling without holding too tightly. She spreads her hands over the sand, tracing slow patterns that swirl and curve, forming shapes that shift and change with the firelight. Circles, waves, spirals, each one a quiet meditation, a language that asks only that you watch and breathe. The patterns seem to reflect possibilities, soft threads of what might be, all moving gently like the wind over the dunes. You float above them in mind, letting each line and curve settle softly into your awareness, like a lullaby without words. A small owl descends from a nearby branch, perching silently beside the fire. Its eyes are wide and luminous, catching the last glow of daylight. The oracle smiles faintly, acknowledging the presence of another silent witness. Together they hold the space in quiet balance, and you feel the subtle harmony ripple through the desert air. The owl's gaze seems to carry reassurance, a reminder that the night holds no danger, only soft wisdom waiting to be noticed. The oracle dips her fingers into a shallow bowl of water, lifting droplets to the sky. The water catches the starlight, scattering it in tiny reflections that shimmer across the sand. Each droplet arcs gently through the air, and you follow its movement with ease, watching how it falls without hurry, how it lands without noise, how it merges with the earth below. In this slow, gentle motion, you feel the quiet guidance of patience, the soft lesson that stillness reveals truth. She begins to speak in a low, even tone, her words floating like drifting leaves. She tells of the desert winds and the ways they carry messages, of sands that shift and settle like memories, of horizons that stretch endlessly but always meet the eye of those who wait. Her voice does not command attention. It invites it softly, like a gentle tide pulling the mind inward toward calm reflection. You float along with her words, letting them trace patterns in your thoughts, smoothing edges, slowing the pulse of the day. The oracle picks up a small mirror, holding it so the firelight touches its surface. She turns it slowly, letting the reflections dance across the sand, across your mind. Each glimmer is fleeting, a quiet reminder that visions can be soft, not sharp, that insight can arrive gently without urgency or force. You watch the movements with ease, allowing your thoughts to drift like clouds, untroubled and slow, following the gentle shimmer as it passes. Night deepens, and the stars shine more fully. The veil of the oracle flutters in the desert breeze, soft and weightless. She closes her eyes, breathing in rhythm with the land around her, and you notice your own breathing slowing in harmony. Each inhale carries warmth, each exhale releases tension. The desert itself seems to fold around you, a vast, calm body that holds and supports. You feel the expansive stillness, and in it, a soft reassurance that all is well, all is safe. She opens her eyes again, and for a moment, the silence between words is louder than any sound. You float in that quiet, letting it wash over you, letting it cleanse and settle the mind. The oracle does not need to speak. Her presence alone guides you deeper into calm, deeper into trust, deeper into the gentle flow of rest. A slow, curling wind drifts past, carrying fine grains of sand that glitter faintly in the moonlight. The oracle lifts her hand to it, letting the wind brush against her fingers, letting it pass through. She does not stop it, does not push it away. She receives it softly, like the natural rhythm of life. You drift with her, letting each thought and worry pass as freely, unhurried, carried gently into the night. She turns to gaze at the horizon once more, where the faint glow of the desert's edge meets the darkening sky. The veils around her shimmer in pale gold and soft silver, reflecting a light that is not harsh, but tender, a light that seems to cradle the soul. You feel the pull of that calm, the soft invitation to surrender fully to the quiet, to float without effort, to drift without concern. The oracle sits again beside the fire, letting the flames flicker and dance. She closes her eyes, her breathing slow and even, and the desert mirrors her calm. You feel yourself sinking deeper into that gentle rhythm, letting the slow motion of firelight and wind carry you further into stillness. Thoughts drift like soft clouds, dissolving without force, leaving only the sensation of rest, of soft presence, of quiet continuity. Let us drift onward now, beneath the vast, star-strewn sky. Let the soft winds of the desert carry every tension away. Let the shimmering veils of the oracle guide the mind into quiet. Let the gentle patterns of sand and fire, water and starlight, settle your spirit into softness. Now rest, as the night spreads fully across the dunes, as the oracle closes her eyes, and as the stars return to their places above. Sleep comes gently, slow as the desert wind, deep as the quiet spaces between thoughts, soft as the moonlight that bathes the sands. You drift finally into the tender embrace of calm, held by the stillness of the desert and the quiet wisdom of the oracle. The night is gentle as you arrive beside a river that glows softly beneath the moon. Its waters move slowly, like silk unrolling across the land. The surface catches silver light, reflecting stars that tremble quietly as if remembering long-forgotten prayers. A soft wind brushes over the riverbank, carrying the scent of damp earth and pale flowers that lean toward the water. Here, time feels slow, and each breath stretches like a calm ribbon across the chest. Along the river, figures appear, draped in robes that shimmer with muted light. They move gracefully, each step measured, touching the earth as if it were sacred. These are the divine women of the river, keepers of quiet rituals, guardians of gentle wisdom. Their faces hold calm, their eyes soft with understanding. You float nearby, feeling neither pressure nor expectation, only the serene invitation of presence. A low, distant drum hums through the air, soft and steady, like the pulse of the river itself. The women gather around shallow pools, cupping water in their hands, letting it trickle slowly between their fingers. Each drop is a small song, a whisper of sorrow transformed into quiet blessing. You notice the rhythm of their movements, how each gesture flows naturally without hurry, like a lullaby in motion. One woman dips a small cloth into the river, wringing it gently, letting tears of water fall back into the current. Each drop seems to carry a fragment of sadness, a memory, a quiet weight, and the river accepts it silently. You watch, feeling the tension in your own chest begin to loosen, as though the river receives what you bring, even without words. The water moves onward, carrying sorrow lightly, endlessly, toward a place you cannot see, but that feels safe. The moon rises higher, and its reflection shimmers across the faces of the women. Their eyes are closed, voices humming softly together in a chant that blends with the flow of the river. The sound is not urgent. It is soft, steady, and warm. Each note curls around the heart, unwinding knots, softening edges, allowing the spirit to rest within the slow, flowing rhythm of the night. Petals drift along the water, carried from unseen branches above. They float without struggle, turning gently with the current. The women reach down, letting the petals touch their palms, holding them for a moment before releasing them back to the river. Each petal is a small symbol of letting go, a quiet surrender to the gentle passage of time. You drift alongside, imagining your own worries as petals, released one by one, moving with the water, dissolving softly into stillness. The riverbank is lined with smooth stones, each carved with faint symbols of moons, stars, and flowing water. The women sit upon them, closing their eyes, letting their hands rest lightly on the surface. Fingers trace the patterns without force, just noticing. Each touch is slow, intentional, like a whispered prayer without words. You feel the calm that radiates from their presence, a warmth that spreads through the space around you, carrying the promise of gentle healing. A soft breeze rustles through nearby reeds, creating quiet music that mingles with the river's flow. Tiny ripples travel outward, catching moonlight in fleeting sparks. The women lean close, letting the movement of water mirror the rhythm of their breath. You notice your own breath matching the pulse of the river, long and unhurried, a slow tide in and out, carrying your thoughts gently along. One of the women lifts a small bowl, filled with water from the river. She dips her fingers in, lifting droplets to her forehead, her cheeks, her heart. Each touch is a blessing, a soft recognition of sorrow transformed into calm. The act is delicate, tender, a reminder that healing comes not in rush or noise, but in slow, consistent care. You watch and feel a similar rhythm inside yourself, a quiet acceptance, a soft surrender to what must be released. The river's sound deepens as night grows fuller. Somewhere downstream, a heron rises, wings brushing the surface of the water, creating gentle ripples that fade into stillness. The women watch, unhurried, letting the small movements of the world unfold around them. You drift with them, feeling the expansiveness of patience, the softness of observation, the quiet strength found in simply being present. A single lantern floats on the river, carried by the current. Its light wavers gently, reflecting the moon and stars in soft patterns across the rippling surface. The women guide it with their hands for a moment, then let it drift freely. It moves onward, untouched, like a small offering to the night, and you imagine the river carrying away all weight, all tension, all unspoken sorrow. Soft hums rise again, mingling with the sound of flowing water and rustling reeds. Each voice blends into the other, a collective chant that does not demand attention, only presence. You float with the sound, letting it seep into the mind, filling quiet spaces with gentle light. The river teaches without words, showing that release can be calm, that letting go can be soft, that sorrow can flow into peace without struggle. The women dip their hands one last time into the river, drawing water to sprinkle over each other in small, slow gestures. The droplets catch moonlight, scattering across skin like tiny stars. Each touch is light, delicate, a reminder that transformation does not need harsh effort. The river receives everything, but it does so with patience, with quiet grace, with unwavering softness. You feel the same gentle flow within, as tension falls away, leaving only stillness, only presence, only calm. Above, the sky deepens to a soft indigo. Stars scatter across it, reflected faintly in the river's surface. The women rise slowly, moving back from the water's edge, letting their robes brush softly against stones and reeds. Their movements are fluid, quiet, a continuation of the river's gentle passage. You drift along, carried by the soft motion of wind, water, and light. One woman reaches out to touch the river once more, letting her fingers trail beneath the surface. Tiny ripples fan outward, reaching stones, reeds, the edges of the bank. It is a simple act, but it carries the quiet power of attention, the soft strength of presence, the healing found in letting touch, let go, and move forward. You float in the ripple of her gesture, feeling your own spirit sway gently with the slow flow of the sacred waters. The women step back to the firelit path along the river bank, their shadows stretching long across the sand. They pause, turning toward the water, and offer a soft nod to the night, to the river, to the moon above. You feel a sense of completion, a quiet satisfaction in having witnessed this gentle ritual. Your mind is lighter, your body softened, your spirit cradled in the flow of river and moon and quiet devotion. Let us drift onward now, following the slow current of the sacred river. Let its soft waters carry all remaining tension, all lingering thoughts, all quiet burdens into the vast expanse of night. Let the gentle women guide the heart toward ease, toward softness, toward rest. Now rest, as the stars return to their places above, as the river moves endlessly and silently beneath the moon, and as the night enfolds you in tender calm. Sleep drifts near, slow as water, deep as quiet, soft as the gentle touch of sacred waters on the soul. Night drifts softly across the land, carrying the faint hush of wind and the distant sigh of leaves. You arrive at a temple tucked between gentle hills, its stones kissed by moonlight. The air is cool, calm, and still. From the open doorway, a warm glow spills outward, flickering and soft like 100 tiny stars fallen to earth. The light moves gently, swaying as though it breathes in rhythm with the universe. Inside, the temple is quiet but alive. Rows of lamps line the walls and steps, each flame flickering as if in conversation with the others. Their soft golden glow dances across carved stones, reflecting on the polished floors and the gentle curves of statues. The scent of incense lingers, subtle and sweet, weaving with the quiet warmth of the lamps. You float along the marble floor, letting the gentle rhythm of candlelight guide your steps and your breath. A group of women moves through the temple, their robes flowing like water. Their hands cradle lamps, lifting them slowly, letting the flames shine with care. They do not rush. Each motion is deliberate, like a meditation in action. Their faces are calm, their eyes soft with awareness, carrying the serenity of centuries. You drift behind them, carried not by curiosity but by a sense of trust, allowing the space and its gentle guardians to enfold you. Each lamp tells a story. Some burn near statues of goddesses, their tiny flames flickering across carved faces that hold quiet smiles. Others shine beside altars, illuminating offerings of flowers, water, and grains. The light seems to whisper of devotion, of patience, of the delicate attention given to each moment. You notice how each glow touches the next, a soft chain of warmth and care, carrying energy through the temple as if it were breathing with the stars above. The women kneel in quiet patterns, setting the lamps upon the ground. They trace slow circles in the air with their fingers, letting their hands follow the subtle pulse of flame. Each gesture is gentle, a soft act of reverence and reflection. The temple itself seems to lean into their presence, the stone and wood and air responding to the quiet devotion that fills it. You float among them, feeling the slow current of energy move through you, smoothing every edge, easing every tension. A faint hum rises from their voices, barely audible, blending with the flicker of the flames. It is a song of light, slow and low, curling around the temple pillars and filling the high ceilings. You let it settle into your chest, soft and tender, like warm water. Each note seems to dissolve worry, to settle the mind into quiet. The lamps sway gently with the breath of the temple, like stars caught in a soft cosmic wind. You notice a lamp set upon a small altar, its flame steady and bright. The divine light seems to carry memory, touching the carvings etched into the stone, moons, petals, flowing water. The women trace these carvings lightly, letting their fingers move without force. Each touch is a blessing, each pause a moment of reflection. You feel the rhythm of their hands and the flame echo in your own body, your breath matching the slow rise and fall of light. The temple walls shimmer with reflected flame, creating pools of soft gold across smooth stones. Shadows stretch and bend, moving quietly with the flicker of light. You float through them like a gentle tide, noticing how the contrasts are soft, never harsh, how darkness and light dance together like a lullaby in motion. The room seems vast yet tender, holding both space and intimacy at once. A woman lifts a small bowl of water, letting droplets fall upon the floor. Each tiny splash catches a flicker of candlelight, scattering small points of brilliance across the stone. She traces circles in the water with her fingertips, watching the ripples expand, slow and deliberate. The act is simple but profound, a quiet reflection of the universe, of small movements carrying far-reaching calm. You watch, letting the ripples move through your thoughts, smoothing them gently like wind over water. The lamps respond to every breath of air. A soft draft swirls through the hall, and each flame leans and bends like a delicate bow. The women move in harmony, hands raised, guiding the light with tender care. The flicker of each lamp seems to breathe with them, drawing the temple into a slow rhythm, a shared heartbeat of attention and presence. You drift within that heartbeat, feeling it cradle your spirit, softening every thought, every edge, every memory. Above, the ceiling opens to glimpses of night sky. Stars peek down like shy eyes, reflected faintly in the lamp's gentle glow. The women raise their arms, palms open, as if offering the light upward, returning it to the cosmos. You float beside them, sensing the slow exchange of energy, the gentle conversation between earth and sky, stone and flame, heart and spirit. The act is quiet, simple, and full of grace. Some lamps float in shallow pools along the temple floor. Their reflections shimmer and multiply, softening the space with patterns of moving light. You notice your own reflection, mingling with them, and feel a quiet awareness of presence. No thought is needed, no judgment, only the soft, tender act of seeing, of being, of letting the gentle illumination wash over you like a warm, comforting tide. The women whisper prayers without urgency, words that curl around the temple like smoke from incense. Their voices are soft and low, never sharp, never demanding. Each note carries intention, patience, devotion. You notice the rhythm of their speech, of their breaths, and how it matches the soft pulse of candlelight. You feel your own pulse slow, your own breaths lengthen, a tender echo of the sacred cadence surrounding you. A single lamp is lifted higher, its flame steady against the shadows. The woman carries it slowly across the hall, tracing light along the walls and arches. You drift beside it, mesmerized by the calm of the movement, the deliberate care in every step. The lamp seems to hum with its own life, tiny sparks of warmth reaching the corners of your mind, dissolving tension, smoothing thoughts. Soft music arises somewhere in the temple, the faintest notes of string or flute, mingling with the flicker of flame and the murmur of prayer. It is not loud. It does not call for attention. It simply exists, a gentle companion to the quiet devotion surrounding you. The women continue their work, moving through the temple with grace and intention. You follow the rhythm, letting each motion, each breath, each flicker of light carry you deeper into stillness. The night outside deepens, and the stars above shine with clarity. The lamps inside mirror that brilliance, their reflections catching in polished floors and smooth stones. You drift along the rows of light, letting each flame touch your awareness, each glow warm your heart. The temple is both vast and intimate, holding space for reflection, for peace, for the gentle release of the day's weight. As the women begin to step back, their hands lowering the lamps to rest gently upon the ground, the temple breathes with quiet satisfaction. Shadows settle, reflections soften, and the air holds a calm hush. You float in the middle of it all, feeling the rhythm of devotion, the soft power of presence, and the quiet strength of light carried across centuries. Let us drift onward now, guided by the slow flicker of lamps, the gentle touch of flame, the quiet wisdom of the divine feminine spirits who tend them. Let their light move through you, softening every thought, every memory, every breath. Now rest, as the stars return fully above, as the temple sighs in gentle quiet, and as the lamps continue their soft, endless dance. Sleep comes slowly, tenderly, carried on the warmth of candlelight, the hush of prayer, and the steady, soft rhythm of light and presence. The forest welcomes you gently, its shadows stretching long and soft under the silver light of the rising moon. The air is cool and fragrant, carrying the scent of damp earth, moss, and the faint perfume of hidden flowers. A quiet hum drifts through the trees like the faintest echo of a remembered song. Each step you take along the soft carpet of leaves is cushioned, slowed, as if the forest itself cradles your passage. Tall trees stand in gentle rows, their branches forming an arch above, filtering the light in soft patterns across the ground. The leaves sway with a whispering voice, telling stories you cannot yet fully hear. You float along the narrow path, noticing the subtle movement of branches, the quiet flutter of wings, the distant glimmer of eyes watching from the shadows. Every sound is tender, intimate, a soft rhythm that eases the mind and settles the heart. In the heart of the grove, figures emerge, women of old, cloaked in robes that blend with the forest. They move slowly, stepping lightly upon roots and stones, carrying baskets of flowers, water, and tiny lanterns. Their presence is gentle, without demand, without hurry. They do not call attention, yet their energy draws you closer, inviting you to simply be, to simply float within the quiet harmony of the grove. The women pause beneath a circle of ancient oaks, their roots entwined like careful braids of memory and time. They kneel, placing lanterns at the base of the trees. The soft glow illuminates carvings etched into bark, faint and delicate, symbols of moons, rivers, and stars. Each mark seems to breathe with quiet reverence, a reminder of those who came before, of wisdom offered softly, slowly, across generations. You drift beside them, feeling the calm that radiates from the forest and its guardians. A gentle wind rises, weaving through branches and across the mossy floor. Leaves rustle softly, carrying the faint scent of rain yet to fall. The women raise their hands to it, letting the breeze brush their palms, their faces. Each movement is slow and deliberate, a silent acknowledgement of life, of presence, of the small miracles that ripple quietly through the world. You notice your own hands resting softly by your sides, letting the wind touch you as if it carries reassurance, carrying the gentle whisper of the forest into your heart. From the shadows, small animals emerge, moving with delicate care. A fox steps lightly across fallen leaves, a rabbit pauses beside a root, its ears twitching at the faint hum of energy in the grove. The women smile faintly at these visitors, and you feel the tender balance of life here. Nothing is hurried, nothing is forced. Each creature, each rustle, each ripple of wind contributes to a slow, breathing rhythm, one that you can settle into without effort. The women begin a soft chant, low and even, harmonizing with the subtle vibrations of the grove. The sound is not loud, not commanding. It curls around the trees, around roots and stones, around you. You let the tones enter your mind, not as instruction, but as a gentle lullaby, soothing the edges of thought, smoothing the contours of the day. You feel each note flow through your chest, down to your feet, spreading outward like water reaching a distant shore. They kneel by a small stream that cuts through the grove, its waters slow and clear. The women scoop handfuls of water, letting it trickle slowly through their fingers, returning to the stream. Each drop glimmers faintly in the lantern light, small reflections like tiny stars mirrored in the rippling current. The water seems to carry old stories, soft lessons passed through time. You float near, letting the movement of water calm your thoughts, feeling sorrow, worry, and tension dissolve like leaves drifting downstream. The forest floor is dotted with wildflowers that lean gently toward the light of the lanterns. The women move among them with tender attention, touching petals lightly, letting their fingers trace soft curves, the smoothness of life unfolding. Each interaction is deliberate, slow, a quiet meditation of the body and spirit. You follow the rhythm with your own breathing, letting each inhale lengthen, each exhale release, as if the grove itself were guiding your calm. High above, the canopy opens to glimpses of night sky. Stars peek down, mirrored faintly in the rippling stream below. The women tilt their faces upward, letting their eyes drink in the soft light, palms open, as if receiving guidance from above. You float beside them, sensing the quiet exchange of energy between earth and sky, root and branch, water and wind. Each moment carries calm, each glance a gentle reassurance that stillness can hold strength, and presence can carry peace. A gentle rain begins, light and soft, pattering on leaves and moss. The droplets glisten like silver dust in the lantern light. The women lift their hands to catch them, letting the water fall slowly across their palms, over their faces. Each touch is a small blessing, a reminder that release is tender, that sorrow can dissolve into softness without struggle. You feel the same gentle rain wash over your mind, easing every tight thought, leaving only calm, only serenity, only presence. They kneel again by the stream, scattering petals across its surface. The petals float slowly, turning and swirling with the current. Each one carries a message of quiet surrender, of patience, of acceptance. You watch, letting the motion guide your own thoughts into gentle drift, allowing them to turn and dissolve in the soft current, leaving a clear, peaceful space within. The women rise, stepping slowly back from the stream, lanterns held high. Their robes sway with each movement, brushing the moss and leaves with light, delicate contact. You drift behind them, noticing the soft interplay of light and shadow, of movement and stillness. The grove breathes with their presence, and you feel the forest's energy wrap around you, soft, protective, nurturing. Above, owls call softly from the trees, their voices carrying quiet wisdom through the night air. The women pause, listening, letting the sounds merge with their own breathing. You drift in the sound, the faint rustle of leaves, the soft flow of water, the tender glow of lanterns. Each element is a gentle guide, teaching that presence and patience, like the trees and stream, can hold you tenderly when the world grows heavy. The group moves to the center of the grove, forming a circle around the oldest tree. Its trunk wide and ancient, roots deep and curling. The women place their lanterns at its base, the flames flickering and leaning as if greeting the tree. They lay hands lightly on the bark, pressing softly, feeling its slow pulse, its quiet strength. You float near, sensing the gentle exchange of energy, a rhythm so slow, so deliberate, that your own heartbeat finds its calm echo within it. Soft chants rise again, mingling with the hum of the forest, the whisper of wind, the ripple of the stream. The grove seems alive with tender attention, with slow, deliberate care. You float in the middle of it all, breathing in harmony, feeling your thoughts settle, your body relax, your spirit carried into quiet. The women's presence, the forest's hush, the lantern's glow, all become a lullaby for the soul. Let us drift onward now, through the soft canopy, past the murmuring stream, guided by lantern light and gentle whispers. Let the grove carry every lingering worry, every tense thought, every restless moment into the earth, where it may rest, dissolve, and return softly to peace. Now rest, as the stars return fully above, as the lantern's light softens into quiet shimmer, and as the grove enfolds you in tender, patient calm. Sleep drifts near, slow and gentle, deep and warm, carried by the whispering forest, the flicker of lanterns, and the tender guidance of ancient, caring spirits. Night settles softly across the courtyard, its stones warmed by the gentle memory of the sun's last touch. Stars shimmer above, scattered like silver dust across the vast dark sky. A hush moves through the air, carrying the faint scent of jasmine and distant incense. You step lightly across the cool stone floor, feeling the quiet pulse of the night beneath your feet. The courtyard is still yet alive with the promise of gentle motion. At the center, figures begin to appear, women draped in flowing robes that catch the starlight. They move slowly, each step deliberate, each gesture softened by time and devotion. Their arms rise and fall in quiet arcs, tracing invisible circles in the air. The movements are not hurried, not exacting, but tender, meditative, as if each motion is a whispered prayer, a gentle offering to the night sky above. The courtyard itself seems to breathe in harmony with their dance. Shadows stretch and sway across the stone, blending with the pale glow of lanterns set along the edges. The women's feet barely disturb the earth, moving in soft rhythm with the unseen pulse of devotion that hums quietly through the space. You float near, carried by the serenity of their motions, feeling the calm radiate into your own heart. A soft drum begins, distant at first, its rhythm slow and measured. Each beat echoes lightly across the courtyard, resonating with the stone beneath your feet. The women do not hurry, letting each pulse guide them, letting each gesture unfold naturally. You notice how their hands, their heads, the gentle sway of their torsos, all respond to the drum, yet remain soft, tender, fluid. The rhythm is not demanding. It simply carries, like a stream guiding a leaf. Lanterns flicker in the night, their light leaning and bending in the slightest breeze. The flames seem to dance along with the women, reflecting in the polished stone like tiny stars mirrored in the earth. You drift among the shadows and soft light, feeling the glow wrap gently around you, comforting and steady. Each breath you take mirrors the slow movement of their bodies, long and calm, as though inhaling the serenity of the courtyard itself. Some dancers move closer to a small fountain at the center, water spilling softly over smooth stones. They trace their fingers lightly over the edge, letting droplets splash in gentle arcs. Each drop catches the starlight, scattering silver across their robes and the courtyard floor. The water moves quietly, softly echoing the rhythm of the dance, blending with the low hum of the drum and the whisper of the night breeze. You float near the fountain, letting the combination of motion, sound, and light ease your mind into stillness. The women begin to circle one another, steps small and flowing, arms weaving patterns that rise and fall with effortless grace. Their movement is not hurried, yet it carries a slow, profound power. The power of quiet devotion, of presence fully given, of rhythm that touches both body and spirit. You follow the dance with your eyes and heart, letting your own thoughts drift like leaves upon a calm stream, dissolving into the gentle energy surrounding you above. Stars twinkle softly, mirrored faintly in the pool of the fountain. The women tilt their faces upward, palms open, letting the night's light rest upon them. You float beside them, sensing the exchange of energy between earth and sky, between motion and stillness, between devotion and presence. Each movement carries intention, yet nothing is forced. Everything is soft, deliberate, tender. You feel the rhythm seep into your own body, your own breath matching the slow arcs and rises of the dancers. The drum shifts subtly, becoming a soft pulse beneath the faint whisper of wind. The women respond with tiny, careful shifts of their feet, a gentle sway of their bodies, a delicate lifting of their arms. Each motion is a meditation, a soft story told without words. You watch as patterns form and dissolve, as light and shadow play across stone and robe, as motion becomes prayer, as prayer becomes calm. Tiny lanterns float across the courtyard, carried on the faintest gust of wind. The women reach toward them with soft fingers, letting their hands brush the flames without disturbing them. Each touch is careful, tender, a reminder that devotion flows through attention, through gentle motion, through presence offered freely. You feel the same soft energy brushing against your spirit, a delicate wave that calms, that eases, that invites sleep. The dancers pause for a moment near the fountain, tracing circles in the air with fingers lightly extended. Water droplets cling to their hands, sparkling faintly in the soft lantern glow. They lower their heads, eyes closed, letting the motion of the body, the rhythm of breath, the quiet pulse of drum and water carry them into stillness. You float near, sensing the same stillness entering your own heart, the same gentle energy settling in your chest and mind. A subtle breeze rises, moving through the courtyard and rustling robes and hair. The lanterns lean slightly, casting soft, shifting shadows. The women move with the wind, arms rising and falling like soft waves, letting the motion respond to the air itself. The courtyard is alive with gentle energy, a slow, meditative flow that carries both dancers and watchers into deep calm. You breathe in time with it, letting each inhalation stretch long and each exhalation release quietly into the night. The fountain's water sings softly as it spills over smooth stones. The women move around it, letting their steps trace gentle arcs, letting their hands brush the cool edges. Each motion seems to draw the essence of the courtyard into itself, turning presence into movement, movement into devotion, devotion into calm. You float beside them, feeling the same quiet rhythm settle over you, softening every thought, every tension, every small ache of the day. They begin to circle outward, moving slowly toward the edges of the courtyard. The dance becomes softer, more fluid, the arcs of motion widening without hurry. The lanterns flicker in time, casting small sparks of warmth across their robes, across the stone, across your mind. You drift within this gentle movement, feeling the slow, steady pulse of devotion infuse the air, infuse the space, infuse your being. A final slow rotation brings them to the fountain once more. Their arms rise and fall with measured care, following the faint pulse of drum and water. Eyes closed, faces calm, bodies soft and supple. They complete the dance with a gentle bow to the night sky, to the fountain, to one another. The courtyard exhales with them, a long, slow release of energy, tension, and thought. You float in the middle of it all, cradled by the soft echoes of movement and light. Let us drift onward now, carried by the slow pulse of dance, by the tender flicker of lanterns, by the quiet rhythm of night and water and starlight. Let the gentle flow of devotion wrap around you, easing each thought, softening each memory, settling your mind into stillness. Now rest as the stars return fully above, as the fountain murmurs softly in the quiet, and as the dancers' shadows fade into the tender calm of night. Sleep drifts near, slow and gentle, deep and warm, carried by motion, rhythm, and the enduring grace of sacred, quiet devotion. twilight drifts gently across the land, softening the edges of trees and stones, casting long, delicate shadows that stretch toward the horizon. You step lightly along a narrow path, the earth cool beneath your feet, carrying the quiet scent of damp moss and distant flowers. Ahead, a circle of stone appears, weathered by time, rising from the earth with quiet dignity. At its center lies a well, dark and still, its waters reflecting the first faint stars of evening. The air around the well is calm, carrying whispers that seem to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. Each voice is soft, delicate, layered like the rustle of leaves in a gentle wind. You approach slowly, feeling a tender pull in your chest, a quiet invitation to listen, to pause, to remember. The well is deep and reflective, its surface smooth as glass, mirroring the sky above and the glow of nearby lanterns. Figures move through the soft evening light, women draped in flowing robes, their hands carrying small bowls of water and tiny blossoms. They move with care, each step deliberate, each gesture slow and graceful. Their faces are serene, eyes soft with memory, and as they lean over the well, you notice the tender way their hands hover above its surface. Each touch seems to ripple through the water, sending quiet waves across the mirrored depths. The first woman dips her hands gently into the water, letting it cascade back into the well in slow, deliberate streams. Each droplet glimmers with reflected starlight, like fragments of forgotten memories dancing on the surface. She whispers softly, a voice carried in tender rhythm, naming someone lost to time. You do not hear the names clearly, yet you feel their weight, their presence, and the reverence in each uttered word. Another woman lowers a small bowl, letting blossoms drift slowly into the water. The petals float, turning gently as they move, tracing patterns that seem guided by unseen hands. Each swirl, each ripple is a quiet story, a soft memory held in reverence. The well reflects the soft glow of the lanterns, the movement of petals, the shadows of figures leaning and bending, and you float beside it all, letting the gentle rhythm ease the tension of thought, soften every edge. A soft wind stirs through the surrounding trees, rustling leaves in a tender symphony. The women raise their heads, palms open, letting the breeze brush their faces and robes. It carries faint echoes of voices, whispers of names spoken long ago, lessons learned, kindness offered, sorrow endured. You drift in the sound, feeling it settle in your chest, a gentle warmth that moves slowly through every fiber of your being. One woman traces a circle along the stone edge of the well, fingers following the worn curves as if reading a story written by countless hands. Her movements are slow, precise, yet tender, each gesture a meditation, a soft offering of remembrance. You notice how her breath aligns with the ripples in the water, how her presence brings calm to the space, and how that calm begins to settle in you as well. A lantern flickers at the edge of the well, its light reflecting in the water, creating soft patterns of warmth and shadow. The women move around it in gentle arcs, bowing slightly, their hands reaching toward the sky, then returning to the water in delicate gestures. Each movement is a soft prayer, an acknowledgement of the unseen threads that connect the past and present, memory and spirit. You drift with them, feeling the tender rhythm pulse through you like a slow, quiet heartbeat. From the shadows, small creatures emerge. An owl perched on a branch, its feathers brushing softly against the night, a fox stepping lightly along the path. The women smile faintly at these visitors, acknowledging their presence without haste. You feel the quiet balance of life here, the gentle interaction between living beings and the enduring energy of memory, each one part of the soft rhythm that flows through the well and the grove surrounding it. The water shimmers as hands dip gently again, stirring slow, concentric ripples. Names are whispered, each one a soft vibration carried across the surface. Some words sound like laughter, others like quiet sorrow, all carried with the same tender care. You float beside the ripples, letting them brush against your thoughts, smoothing tension, releasing lingering worries, and leaving a quiet space within. A woman kneels, holding a single blossom to her heart, then lowering it to the water. The petals rest lightly on the surface, moving with gentle current. She bows her head, and the whisper of her breath mingles with the soft evening air. You sense the depth of devotion here, the quiet power of memory, the way honor and reflection ripple outward, touching all who come near. The women begin a slow, soft chant, a hum that blends with the rustle of leaves and the quiet lapping of water against stone. It is not loud, nor does it demand attention. It simply exists. A gentle guide for presence, a lullaby for the spirit. You feel the vibrations move through your chest, down your arms and legs, and out to the edges of your awareness, leaving behind calm, deep calm, the kind that feels like a soft tide washing over you. A gentle drizzle begins, faint at first, then more certain, falling in tiny beads on leaves, stone, and water. Each drop seems to add to the chorus of whispers, blending with the chant, the rustling leaves, the ripples of the well. The women lift their faces to the rain, letting it brush their skin, letting the water carry the prayers and names softly into the earth. You float beside them, letting the rain wash over your thoughts, softening every edge, leaving clarity and peace in its place. They move slowly around the well, forming a quiet circle. Lanterns are held low, their light reflecting in the rippling water, creating patterns that seem almost alive. Each movement is careful, gentle, deliberate. The space breathes with them, a tender rhythm that carries every observer into its calm. You drift within this flow, feeling your own breathing lengthen, deepen, aligning with the steady, gentle cadence of the ritual. A final ripple is cast across the water, petals and droplets scattering in slow arcs. The women bow to the well, a gesture of completion, a soft acknowledgement of all names, all memories, all lessons held here. You feel a deep resonance in your own heart, a quiet understanding that presence and remembrance carry their own tender strength. The night air embraces you, carrying soft scents, soft sounds, and the subtle warmth of human care and devotion. Let us drift onward now, leaving ripples gently fading on the water's surface, carrying away all lingering tension, all restless thought, all shadowed moments of the day. Let the soft power of memory settle into your mind and heart, a quiet companion to guide you into rest. Now rest. As the stars return fully above, as the lantern's glow softens into gentle shimmer, and as the well holds every whispered name, every tender memory within its calm, reflective depths. Sleep drifts near, slow and warm, deep and gentle, carried by the quiet strength of remembrance, devotion, and the soft murmur of water and night. Twilight rests gently over the quiet village, brushing the roofs and cobblestones with a soft amber glow. You walk along a narrow path, the earth beneath your feet yielding slightly with each step. A faint fragrance of beeswax and soft incense drifts through the air, carrying with it the quiet promise of warmth and reflection. Ahead, a small courtyard opens, round and intimate, encircled by low stone walls. At its center, a circle of women gathers, each holding a candle cradled in delicate hands. The flames flicker softly, moving like tiny dancers in the gentle evening breeze. Each light holds its own rhythm, a pulse of quiet devotion that resonates softly across the courtyard. You drift closer, carried by the slow, tender glow, feeling the calm energy radiating from the circle. The women's faces are serene, eyes softened by gentle focus, and as you watch, you notice the care in each movement, the reverence in every gesture. One woman bends slightly, adjusting a candle so that its light leans across the polished stone floor. The flame responds like a living thing, bowing to the touch and then rising again with a quiet brilliance. Another leans forward, tracing the edge of a bowl of melted wax with the tip of her finger, drawing a pattern that glows briefly before fading. Each motion is slow, deliberate, yet tender, a quiet meditation made visible through the soft warmth of light. The circle hums with a gentle rhythm. Each breath, each tilt of the body, each careful placement of a hand seems to harmonize with the flickering flames. You feel yourself drawn into the rhythm, your own breathing stretching long and soft, matching the ebb and flow of candlelight and movement. The courtyard itself seems to breathe along, walls and stones reflecting light back in subtle waves, carrying serenity to every corner. A soft wind rises, weaving through the courtyard, brushing against the women's robes, lifting stray locks of hair, and carrying faint scents of jasmine and honey. The flames sway gently, their reflections dancing across polished stone and worn wood. You float beside the circle, feeling the warmth of devotion seep slowly into your chest, relaxing shoulders, softening thoughts, and carrying every tension outward into the gentle night. One of the keepers leans closer to a candle, whispering a name. The words are soft, carried only in the hush of the courtyard, yet they linger in the quiet, echoing gently against the walls. You feel the resonance of her intention, The tender acknowledgement of presence and memory, the soft power of recognition and forgiveness carried within a simple flame. Another candle is lifted higher, its light spreading across the circle, touching each woman and reaching toward the edges of the courtyard. The women begin a gentle, silent rhythm of motion. Hands lift and lower, tracing arcs in the air, fingers following invisible patterns, bodies swaying subtly like reeds in a calm stream. Each movement mirrors the flickering of the candles, the small rise and fall of light, a quiet dance that carries meaning without sound. You follow it with your gaze and heart, feeling the calm deepen, letting the soft harmony cradle every thought. At the edge of the circle, a lantern is placed on the stone, its flame steady and bright. One of the keepers dips her hand into a small bowl of melted wax, letting a thin thread drop slowly onto the lantern's base. The wax cools immediately, capturing the gentle movement in frozen form, yet the warmth of intention remains, radiating outward. Each small gesture is a quiet act of care, a gentle offering of patience and presence. The women begin to move in a slow, circular path, passing candles between one another. Each transfer is careful, deliberate, and tender. Hands touch briefly, then part, leaving behind a trace of warmth and calm. The glow of the flames mingles, creating a soft golden sea that pulses across the courtyard. You drift with the movement, letting it settle in your mind like smooth water, carrying away lingering stress, gently rocking the spirit toward stillness. Soft whispers float through the air, carried by the subtle breeze. They speak of forgiveness, of letting go, of accepting the gentle flow of life and the quiet unfolding of time. The words are unhurried, carrying no demand, only the tender invitation to be present, to breathe, and to rest in the warmth of the circle. You feel your own thoughts soften, released into the calm, leaving only serenity in their place. The candles flicker higher as the wind moves gently across the courtyard. Shadows stretch and lean, blending with the lantern light, creating patterns that seem alive and breathing. The keepers adjust their hands, allowing the flames to lean, to rise, to sway, following their natural rhythm. Each movement is a soft meditation, an offering of mindfulness made tangible in light and motion. You float beside them, absorbing the tender, meditative energy, letting it flow slowly through your mind and body. A single long candle is placed at the center of the circle. One of the women steps forward, bowing slightly, and lets the flame catch the reflection of the stars above. The light seems to deepen, brightening softly without harshness, touching each face in the circle and extending outward, wrapping the courtyard in a quiet embrace. You feel the glow touch your chest, spreading warmth and calm, as if the light itself is breathing with you. The keepers slow their steps, lowering their hands and bending gently toward the stones. Each flame is brought to stillness, the flicker softening until only a quiet, steady glow remains. The courtyard exhales with them, a long, gentle release that carries away lingering tension. You feel yourself settling, each thought folding inward, each worry melting into the calm, guided by the tender energy of the circle and the soft radiance of candlelight. A gentle hush falls across the courtyard. Only the faintest whisper of wind moves through the robes of the keepers, and the soft glow of the flames dances quietly across stone and wood. The women bow their heads to one another, to the circle, and to the night sky above. Their presence lingers softly like the last note of a lullaby, a gentle vibration that settles over everything it touches. You float in that vibration, calm and still, the warmth and soft light carrying you gently into rest. Let us drift onward now, carried by the quiet rhythm of flame and breath, by the tender movements of the keepers, and by the calm that settles over stone and sky. Let each candle's glow infuse your mind with peace, each flicker a gentle pulse guiding you toward serenity and quiet reflection. Now rest, as the stars return fully above, as the courtyard holds its tender light in patient silence, and as the circle of candle keepers leaves behind only soft warmth, deep calm, and the gentle embrace of night. Sleep drifts near, slow and soothing, warm and steady, carried by the luminous rhythm of devotion, patience, and the quiet restoration of the spirit. The night drifts quietly across the land, soft and slow, brushing hills and valleys with a silver glow. You walk along a hidden path, the earth damp beneath your feet, carrying the faint scent of moss and distant flowers. A gentle mist rises from the ground, curling lazily around rocks and tree roots, carrying a quiet, otherworldly hush. Ahead, the outlines of temples emerge, half hidden in the fog, their stones glowing faintly in the moonlight. The air is cool and tender, carrying the faint whisper of water trickling from unseen streams. You float closer, feeling a gentle calm settle over your chest, a quiet breath of night that moves slowly through the mind. The temples are small, circular, intimate, each surrounded by curling mist that softens every edge and blurs the boundary between stone and air. Shadows of statues emerge, their faces serene, eyes closed in eternal meditation. Figures move within the mist. Women draped in flowing robes, steps deliberate and slow, hands brushing lightly against stone and water. They move with grace, as if the fog itself rises to follow them, wrapping their presence in mystery and gentle rhythm. Each gesture is soft, intentional, a slow dance of devotion and quiet reflection. You drift along the edges of the temples, letting your eyes follow the subtle motions, feeling the calm pulse of intention. A woman leans near a small pool, water glowing faintly with reflected moonlight. Her hands hover above it, tracing delicate patterns on the surface. The water ripples, soft circles spreading outward, and you sense that each ripple carries a fragment of thought, a whispered lesson, a gentle offering of reflection. Another figure kneels by a low altar, placing a small bowl of petals and stones. The stones catch the moonlight softly, glowing with a calm inner luminescence. The mist shifts and curls, brushing across your skin like the softest touch. Each movement of air feels deliberate, as if the night itself guides you through the temples, carrying quiet wisdom in every breath. You sense the soft presence of the divine in the gentle gestures, in the tender way the women move, and in the slow rhythm of mist and moonlight. Your breathing lengthens, soft and slow, in harmony with the tender cadence of the scene. A small lantern flickers in the doorway of one temple. Its light dances across carved stone, illuminating inscriptions that shimmer briefly in the fog. The words are not meant to be read, only felt, each curve of stone and shadow offering a quiet meditation. Another figure lifts a bowl of water, letting drops fall slowly, one by one, onto the temple floor. Each drop echoes softly in the silence, a gentle reminder that even the smallest gesture carries meaning. Softly, the women move in a circle around a central statue. The figure is veiled in mist, its features barely visible, yet full of serenity. The women extend their hands toward it, then return them to their chests, breathing slowly with deliberate care. You drift with their motion, feeling your own heart slow in response, each beat a gentle echo of the rhythm around you. The mist moves with them, rising and falling like soft waves, a tender, invisible companion to each gesture. A faint chorus rises, a whisper of sound carried in the fog. It is not loud, not demanding, only a delicate hum, a gentle vibration that moves through the stones, through the water, and through the quiet night air. You float beside it, letting it fill every corner of thought, softening tension, easing worry, and leaving only calm, reflective stillness behind. Each note is like a slow, gentle tide washing over the mind, carrying serenity in its rhythm. The women pause at the edges of the temples, lifting small lanterns to the sky. The light mingles with the moon, merging into the silver mist, creating soft, shifting patterns that seem alive. You watch as shadows stretch and bend, blending with the fog, the stone, and the glowing water. Each movement is slow and deliberate, a meditation in motion, a tender teaching of patience, presence, and quiet wonder. A single figure steps toward a narrow bridge that arches over a small stream. Water moves softly beneath, reflecting the silver mist and moonlight in gentle ripples. She places her hands lightly on the stone railing, leaning just enough to trace a pattern on the water with her fingers. The ripples spread, carrying reflections of stars and fog alike, and you feel a gentle pull within yourself, as though the water carries away lingering thoughts and softens the edges of the day. The temples are quiet now, yet full of presence. Statues stand watch in patient serenity. The mist curls slowly around their forms, and the women move lightly, each gesture deliberate, each breath measured. You feel yourself becoming part of the quiet rhythm, a soft participant in the meditation of mist, moon, and motion. Each inhalation brings calm, each exhalation releases tension, and the night holds you gently in its embrace. A gentle wind brushes through the courtyards, carrying the faint fragrance of incense and night-blooming flowers. The lanterns sway softly and the mist dances along their edges, revealing and hiding shapes with tender care. The women pause, bowing lightly to the statues and each other, acknowledging the quiet strength of presence, the gentle lessons of reflection, and the tender guidance offered in stillness. You float beside them, feeling the soft pulse of the night carry into your heart and mind. Finally, the women kneel near the central pool, hands hovering above the water in slow arcs. Each movement sends a ripple through the mist, soft circles spreading across the surface, reflecting moonlight and lantern glow. You feel the ripples move within, smoothing tension, softening thought, and leaving space for gentle rest. The mist curls higher, brushing softly against your skin, carrying quiet calm into every corner of awareness. Let us drift onward now, leaving the temples shrouded in silver mist and tender moonlight. Let the gentle movements, the soft ripples of water, the tender glow of lanterns, and the quiet presence of devotion guide your mind toward stillness. Each breath you take carries serenity deeper. Each heartbeat aligns with the calm rhythm of night, mist, and gentle reflection. Now rest, as the temples return to quiet shadows, as the moon lingers softly overhead, and as the mist holds every gentle motion, every tender lesson, and every soft whisper of wisdom within its embrace. Sleep drifts near, slow and warm, quiet and steady, carried by the luminous calm of mist, moon, and the soft, guiding presence of divine care. The night drifts like a slow river across distant hills, brushing the world in silver light. You move along a quiet path, smooth stones beneath your feet, the air cool and scented faintly with jasmine and distant rain. In the distance, pale marble temples rise from the soft darkness, their arches and columns blurred by a tender haze. A gentle hum carries on the air, soft as wind through reeds, and you realize it is a song, a voice that seems to float from the heart of the temples themselves. You follow the melody, each note tender and slow, winding through the marble halls like water-tracing stones. The song is soft, not commanding, only inviting, carrying a calm that wraps around your chest and eases each thought. Light glimmers across the polished floors, reflecting from subtle carvings in the walls, and shadows move quietly as if listening, bending toward the music in gentle reverence. The halls are empty of people, yet alive with presence. Statues of women in flowing robes lean lightly over stone pedestals, hands lifted as though caught mid-gesture, eyes closed in serene attention. Their features are softened by moonlight and candle glow, and each seems to vibrate with the echoes of the song, as though the melody itself moves through them. You drift closer, feeling the resonance touch your heart, settling like a gentle breath. A single candle flickers on a low table, its flame bowing to the rhythm of the song. Each rise and fall of light is like a heartbeat, soft and steady, and you realize the song and flame are one, each guiding the other in delicate harmony. You float along the hall, senses open to every subtle sound. The faint hum of air moving through marble, the soft brush of your own breath, the tender echo of the ancient voice carried on the wind. The song swells softly, not loud but full of quiet layers. You hear the whispers of women who have come before, their voices blending with the music like threads in a gentle tapestry. Each tone is a small offering, a lesson carried in sound. Patience, reflection, acceptance, and the soft power of letting go. You feel these lessons as much as you hear them, each note sinking slowly into your chest, filling the spaces where tension once lingered. A figure emerges from the mist of candlelight, a woman robed in pale blue, moving slowly through the hall. Her steps make no sound, yet the song seems to lean toward her, shifting softly with each movement. She lifts a hand and traces patterns through the air, the gestures mirrored in ripples across the polished floor. The echoes of her song follow her, stretching backward and forward, connecting past and present in a gentle, unbroken line. You notice small bowls of water along the edges of the hall. The woman dips her fingers in, letting droplets fall slowly onto the floor. Each drop causes a tiny ripple, tiny circles that merge with reflections of the candlelight and moon above. The song seems to follow these ripples, softening and stretching, carrying calm into every corner of the space. You drift with it, feeling the ripples move through your own body, smoothing tension, softening thought, and leaving only stillness behind. Another voice joins the first, soft and layered, a tender harmony that seems to rise from the very walls. The two voices intertwine like rivers merging in gentle flow, echoing across arches and corridors. You feel the presence of the oracles who once sang here, their devotion preserved in melody, each note a gift of serenity, each echo a gentle touch on the spirit. You breathe slowly, matching the rhythm of song and space, letting your heart be carried along in quiet reverence. Candles flicker higher as a faint breeze moves through the halls, teasing the edges of shadows and light. The song bends with the air, gentle as a lullaby, and you feel your own shoulders relax. You notice carvings in the walls, figures holding bowls, lifting hands, leaning into thought. The music seems to flow into these carvings, giving them warmth and subtle motion, and you sense that each stone has absorbed centuries of devotion, echoing softly in the melody. The woman in pale blue moves toward a small arched doorway. You follow in gentle drift, the song leading you, notes brushing lightly against your mind, smoothing every corner. Beyond the doorway, a circular chamber opens, its center empty, save for a single, low pedestal. The song gathers here, curling like mist around the edges of the room, and you feel the calm deepen, like water pooling slowly in a hidden spring. On the pedestal rests a small, silver bowl. The woman reaches for it, lifting it gently and tilting it to catch the candlelight. Tiny reflections shimmer across the walls, dancing slowly in time with the music. She hums a soft, wordless note, and the echo fills the chamber, traveling outward along every corridor, every arch, every shadow. You feel the song settle in your chest as if it were a warm weight, steady and gentle, carrying a quiet sense of restoration. The music shifts subtly, slower now, deeper, more tender. It speaks not with words, but with resonance, teaching patience and gentle awareness. You notice your own hands resting lightly on your lap, fingertips brushing together, following the rhythm unconsciously. The song guides the mind as much as it carries itself, softening thought, easing worry, and encouraging the quiet awareness of presence. Candles along the hall bow once, twice, as if responding to the rhythm of the song. You see shadows move like dancers, stretching long across the marble floor, bending toward the melody in quiet tribute. Each step is measured, each breath slow, and you feel the same gentle measure enter your own body. Thoughts drift like clouds, soft and light, floating across a calm sky. The woman sets the bowl back onto the pedestal, and the song shifts again, carrying a tender farewell, a closing gesture that feels like a soft exhale. The echoes linger, brushing every arch and column, each note a soft embrace that wraps around the heart. You feel your spirit settle, each breath stretching long and calm, each heartbeat aligned with the gentle rhythm of the temple and the voices of oracles past. Let us drift onward now, carried by the tender echo of song, by the soft shimmer of candlelight and moon above, by the gentle presence of devotion preserved through time. Let every note, every shadow, every soft ripple of sound carry your thoughts into calm, slow and unhurried, leaving only serenity in its place. Now rest. As the marble halls return to quiet stillness, as the song lingers softly in the corners of your mind, and as the oracle's gentle wisdom settles into your spirit, sleep drifts near, tender and steady, wrapped in echoes of soft melodies, quiet devotion and the luminous calm of night, carrying you fully into the embrace of gentle rest. Twilight drifts across the world like a gentle sigh, softening the edges of trees, walls, and distant hills. You step into a quiet space where stone corridors twist gently, forming a labyrinth carved long ago by hands both human and sacred. The air is cool, scented faintly with moss and smooth earth, carrying whispers of past footsteps that linger like a memory. Soft winds move through the stone arches, carrying faint echoes, and you feel them brush against your skin like a tender touch, inviting you to wander slowly, with calm awareness. The labyrinth is neither dark nor bright, a gentle balance of shadow and soft light. Candle sconces flicker along the walls, each flame small but steady, a quiet heartbeat guiding your path. Each step you take is cushioned by the smooth floor, and the faint sound of your movement blends with the whispers of the wind. Somewhere ahead you sense a presence, not startling, but serene. Divine women moving gracefully, guiding the rhythm of the labyrinth with gentle, patient steps. You float along a curve of the corridor, the stone cool beneath your fingers as you trace its surface lightly. Tiny carvings of stars, Birds and flowing water decorate the walls, etched delicately into the ancient stone. They seem alive in the candlelight, shifting softly as if breathing. Each symbol holds a lesson, not in words, but in quiet suggestion, patience, reflection, awareness, and the gentle unfolding of time. The labyrinth itself seems to pulse with life, a slow heartbeat you can feel in your chest as your steps echo softly in the stone. Through a narrow archway, you catch a glimpse of a figure in white and silver. She moves slowly, her hands lifted in quiet gesture, her steps following a rhythm almost imperceptible but deeply felt. Each motion seems to draw the labyrinth's walls gently toward her, creating pathways of light and shadow. You feel that each turn, each quiet step, is a lesson in presence, a subtle invitation to release thought and rest in observation. The corridor opens into a small chamber where a low fountain bubbles quietly. Water spills over smooth stones, creating ripples that shimmer in the soft candlelight. The woman kneels beside it, letting her fingers trail across the surface. Each ripple expands slowly, touching the edges of the basin and flowing outward like gentle waves. The song of water mingles with the quiet hum of her presence, teaching that even small movements, when done with care, carry intention and calm. You continue along the labyrinth, guided by flickers of candlelight and the soft echoes of her steps. Each turn brings subtle changes, a curve lined with tiny blossoms, petals glowing faintly in the moonlight. A carved wall where hands and faces seem frozen in serene meditation. A narrow passage where soft wind carries the scent of lavender and thyme. Each sensory note draws your awareness inward, encouraging calm observation and the slow rhythm of breath. A second figure emerges from shadow, moving in harmony with the first. Their gestures mirror each other, flowing like water in quiet current. You watch them trace patterns along the walls, following the paths of light and shadow. The labyrinth shifts with them, not physically, but in perception. Corners expand gently, passages curve with grace, and the stones seem to hum in resonance with the rhythm of their devotion. You feel the same calm enter your body, every muscle easing as your mind mirrors their serene movement. The path bends sharply, leading into a corridor lined with shallow niches. Each niche holds a small lamp, its flame breathing softly, echoing the quiet pulse of the labyrinth. You pause, letting the warmth of the lights touch your face, your chest, your hands. Each lamp holds a subtle message. Patience with yourself, the gentle embrace of stillness, the soft flow of time as a friend rather than a burden. You breathe slowly, letting these lessons sink into your heart like rain into dry soil. The divine women move ahead, their steps measured and slow, and you follow without thought, allowing your senses to guide you. You notice small symbols etched along the floor, footprints, stars, waves. Each is simple, unassuming, yet imbued with meaning. As your eyes trace them, you feel the rhythm of the labyrinth enter your own body. Inhale, exhale, step, pause, notice, release. Each motion softens tension. Each breath deepens calm. A soft chamber appears next, open to the sky above. Moonlight spills gently through a lattice, casting delicate patterns across the stones. A low mist hugs the floor, cool and fragrant, carrying the scent of jasmine and damp earth. The women kneel here, hands resting lightly on their knees, eyes closed. Their presence radiates stillness, a quiet meditation that seems to stretch across the entire labyrinth. You sit among them, letting the mist brush your skin, letting the soft rhythm of breath and movement fill your being. Here, the lessons of the labyrinth become clear, not in words, but in feeling. Patience is a stone underfoot, unyielding yet gentle. Awareness is the curve of the walls, guiding without pushing. Every turn, every quiet footstep, every flicker of candlelight carries the wisdom of presence, a meditation made tangible. You breathe slowly, letting the soft currents of calm fill your mind, sweeping away lingering worries and settling your thoughts into gentle pools. As the night deepens, the women rise, their movements slow, deliberate, flowing like water over stones. They move toward the center of the chamber, forming a circle. Hands lifted, they trace patterns in the moonlight, small gestures of devotion and calm. Their presence is quiet instruction. There is no rush, no need to grasp, only the gentle unfolding of awareness and the patient rhythm of being. You follow each gesture with your eyes, letting your own breath match the rhythm, soft and steady, heart easing with every pulse. The labyrinth seems to exhale with them, corners stretching and opening, pathways smoothing under the guidance of quiet devotion. You move slowly, following the path as if carried by gentle wind. Every turn teaches surrender. Every step softens thought. Every breath expands the calm inside you. The marble and stone hold these lessons, etched deep in the labyrinth's bones, waiting patiently for all who wander to absorb their gentle wisdom. Finally, you arrive at a small exit framed by vines and moonlight. Beyond it, the world waits softly, bathed in night and quiet. The women linger at the threshold, watching with serene presence. Their guidance is complete, their teachings absorbed in the rhythm of your breath and the calm settling into your spirit. You step through, carrying the lessons of patience, awareness, and gentle movement like a soft cloak around your shoulders. Let us drift onward now, letting each turn, each quiet step, and each gentle gesture of the labyrinth settle into our hearts. Let the soft rhythm of this sacred place carry thought into stillness, allowing the mind to rest fully, free of burden, wrapped in gentle awareness. Now rest as the corridors fade into memory, as the stone and candlelight dissolve into calm, and as the divine women's presence lingers softly in your spirit, a quiet lullaby guiding you into peaceful, unbroken sleep. Twilight settles gently over the temple, casting long shadows across the still waters that surround it. The surface of the pond is a mirror, reflecting the soft glow of the evening sky and the delicate silhouettes of stone lanterns. You float quietly along the path that curves toward the temple's entrance, each step cushioned by moss and smooth stones. A gentle wind stirs, carrying the faint scent of lotus blossoms, sweet and calming, brushing lightly against your cheeks and hair, inviting your mind to soften, to rest. The temple rises like a quiet promise, its walls bathed in the last silver of fading sunlight. Tiny lanterns flicker along the edges of the water, casting reflections that ripple slowly across the surface. Each flicker is a whisper of devotion, a delicate pulse that seems to breathe with the rhythm of the heart. You notice the soft sound of water lapping against the stones, a lullaby that hums in harmony with your own breath, and you feel the tension of the day begin to dissolve. Inside, the temple is hushed. The air carries the scent of incense and damp stone, mingling with the sweet perfume of lotus flowers arranged in shallow basins. Women move gracefully through the temple, each carrying a lotus-shaped flame. The flames are small, steady, and golden, their glow soft as though touched by the sun itself. With careful hands, they set the flames upon the water's surface, and each flame drifts gently, floating as if it were a thought released, a sorrow softly set free. You watch them light the lamps, their movements slow, deliberate, almost ritualistic. Each gesture carries intention. A bow of the head, a gentle clasp of the hands, the careful placement of the flame upon the water. The flames shimmer in the stillness, tiny stars that float and sway, casting gentle light across faces serene with devotion. In this space, sorrow seems to lift, replaced by quiet reflection, a gentle awakening of the heart that moves as softly as the lotus petals themselves. The women chant in low, melodic tones, the sound weaving through the temple like warm silk. Each note is soft, yet it resonates in the chest, creating vibrations that settle the spirit. The words are ancient, drawn from a time when devotion was expressed through breath, through song, through small gestures of care. You feel the chant seep into your being, matching the slow rhythm of your own heartbeat, reminding you that peace can be found in gentle repetition and attentive presence. You drift closer to the water, watching as the lotus flames glide slowly across the surface. Some float in circles, spinning softly with the pull of the gentle current. Others cluster together, merging their light in quiet companionship, their golden glow reflecting like small suns upon the mirrored water. Each movement is delicate, deliberate, a lesson in patience and in letting go. The water receives the light without effort, carrying it onward, just as the heart may carry quiet hope into moments of stillness. Beyond the temple doors, the sky deepens into twilight, stars emerging softly, one by one. Their reflection twinkles across the pond, mingling with the lotus flames in a gentle dance of light. You feel your body relax with each flicker, each ripple, each soft note of chant, your mind floating between the mirrored heavens above and the glowing water below. There is no hurry here, no need to understand, only the slow unfolding of awareness, the quiet rhythm of breath, and the soft release of the heart. A woman kneels at the edge of the water, her hands cupped around a single flame. She leans forward, placing it gently upon the pond, and for a moment it lingers, suspended, as if pondering its own release. Then it floats, carried slowly by the current, drifting toward the center of the pond. The motion is calm, deliberate, and you sense in it the soft power of surrender. To release sorrow is not to forget, but to honor it with gentle presence, allowing it to transform into something quiet and luminous. The temple walls are adorned with carvings of lotuses and water lilies, symbols of resilience and serene beauty. You trace them with your eyes, noticing the curves and petals, the intricate details softened by candlelight. Each carving seems to breathe slowly, reminding you that growth and transformation often happen quietly, in places hidden, beneath still surfaces. The lesson is gentle. Allow the heart to open at its own pace, to bloom softly, surrounded by light and care. The women rise, moving in soft, synchronized steps toward the center of the temple. Their hands carry more lotus flames, each one a small offering, a gentle illumination of sorrow, hope, and devotion. They set the flames carefully into shallow basins of water, watching as the flames drift and mingle. The reflection of each flame shimmers against the stone floor and the temple walls, creating a moving tapestry of golden light. You feel your chest expand slightly with the calm, the warmth of the glowing flames settling into your spirit, a quiet comfort that feels like home. Outside, the water's surface shifts gently with the soft evening breeze, each lotus flame wobbling slightly before regaining its balance. The movement is hypnotic, a slow, fluid dance that mirrors the gentle rhythm of the mind when it begins to let go. You allow your eyes to follow the motion, each ripple carrying away tension, each shimmer of light drawing your focus inward, into the quiet center of your being. The world outside fades, and only the gentle glow of flame and the reflective stillness of water remain. The chanting continues, its melody low and tender, weaving with the soft lapping of water. You notice the faint sound of footsteps on the temple floor, soft as whispers, echoing in harmony with the flame's gentle flicker. Each step seems deliberate, meditative, a careful tracing of intention. You feel your own breath synchronize with the rhythm, slow and steady like water flowing over smooth stones, like the petals of a lotus opening gently to the sky. A final circle of lotus flames is placed at the center of the pond, forming a radiant constellation of golden light. The reflections merge with the night sky above, as if heaven and earth are breathing together in quiet unison. You sense a gentle lifting of heaviness, a softening of sorrow, and a peaceful awakening in your chest. The ritual has not shouted its message, but whispered it into your awareness. Release gently, shine softly, move slowly, and let the heart awaken in its own time. You sit at the water's edge, feeling the cool air brush your face and the subtle warmth of the temple's light around you. The flames continue to drift, each one a tiny sun, each one a quiet story of release and illumination. You feel the lessons of the lotus and flame settle into your being, the patience to let go, the serenity to observe, and the gentle strength that comes from allowing light to enter even the softest of hearts. The women rise and move toward the exit, their steps slow, deliberate, fading into the soft shadows of the temple. The lotus flames continue to drift across the water, each one a flickering witness to the quiet magic of ritual, devotion, and stillness. You remain seated, breathing slowly, letting the gentle sway of the water, the soft flicker of light, and the whispering night carry your thoughts into calm, quiet spaces. Let us drift onward now, letting the lotus flames guide the mind into stillness, letting the gentle movement of water carry the heart into calm reflection. Let each soft flicker illuminate what we release, allowing sorrow and tension to dissolve into gentle awareness, leaving only warmth, peace, and the tender awakening of the spirit. Now rest as the night deepens. As the flames float slowly across the mirrored water, and as the temple and its quiet rituals hold you softly in their luminous embrace, let the lotus and flame linger in your heart, a quiet lullaby that guides every breath into serene, untroubled sleep. Night drifts gently over the quiet hills, and the world seems to exhale as darkness settles in soft layers. Beneath the vast starlit sky, a temple stands small and luminous, surrounded by open fields where the wind moves like a slow, gentle river. The stars above glimmer softly, scattered across the velvet sky. Their light steady and tender, as if watching over the earth and everything upon it. You move along the path that leads to the temple, each step cushioned by grass, each breath mingling with the cool, fragrant air, and you feel the quiet hum of the night seep into your bones. The temple's walls are smooth and pale, catching the silver light of the stars, and at its heart sits an altar, simple yet radiant. It is adorned with bowls of water, small lamps, and clusters of blossoms whose petals open faintly under the starlight. The altar is more than stone and ritual. It is a place where devotion lingers like a gentle breeze, where care and patience are honored quietly, and where the cosmos seems to lean close, sharing its light with all who pause to notice. Women move around the altar in soft, slow steps, their presence barely disturbing the calm of the night. Each carries a small lamp, its flame flickering tenderly, casting golden pools of light across the stones. Their gestures are deliberate, meditative. They place flowers with care, adjust lamps with attention, and bow gently before the altar, their movements blending seamlessly with the rhythm of the evening. In their quiet devotion, you sense the patient art of waiting, the soft power of being present, and the slow joy of connection to something vast and enduring. The lamps are lit, and the flames dance softly in the evening air. Their reflections ripple in shallow bowls of water, mirroring the stars above and creating a double sky that shimmers across the altar. You lean closer, noticing how the light bends and moves, how it touches every surface, tracing the curves of stone, petals, and the gentle lines of the women's hands. The effect is hypnotic, a quiet dance of illumination, and with each flicker, your own heart seems to slow. Syncing with the rhythm of the flames, a soft chant begins, low and melodic, carried like a gentle wind through the open temple. The words are ancient, their syllables unfolding slowly, each one a tender vibration that resonates quietly within the chest. You feel the sound wrap around you, holding you in gentle steadiness. The chants speak of devotion and waiting, of the joy that is found not in urgency but in quiet presence, not in rushing, but in the deliberate unfolding of attention and care. The altar holds bowls of water, each one reflecting the night sky above. You notice how the stars seem to tremble slightly in their mirrored depths, like memories held softly in the heart. The women tend the water with delicate hands, smoothing its surface with gentle motions, ensuring each reflection remains clear. Each lamp casts its full glow. There is no hurry, no striving, only a slow, patient devotion that mirrors the patient glow of the stars. You watch as a single lamp is set at the center of the altar. Its light is steady, golden, warm. The woman who places it pauses, holding her hands near the flame, breathing in the stillness around her. She leans forward slightly, her reflection mingling with the stars on the water's surface, and for a moment you feel as if the heavens themselves have lowered, brushing gently against the earth. The light, the stars, the water, they all merge into one calm, luminous presence, and you sense your own spirit softening, opening slowly to the quiet wonder of this place. Around the altar, petals are scattered in delicate patterns like small constellations on the stone. Each flower is placed with care, each curve of its arrangement considered in the soft silence. You notice the gentle care in every gesture, the patience with which the women attend to the altar, and you begin to understand that this is devotion in its simplest, most tender form. Attention, presence, and the slow, unhurried celebration of life's quiet beauty. The wind moves through the open space, soft as a whisper. It lifts the scent of blossoms and the warmth of lamps, brushing across your face and hands. You feel the gentle hum of the world, the slow pulse of night, the subtle rhythm that exists between one star and another. Each breath becomes a little slower, each heartbeat a little steadier, as the temple, the altar, and the luminous night wrap you in quietude. The women place additional lamps around the perimeter of the altar, and each flame seems to lean toward its neighbor, sharing warmth and light in silent communion. You feel the harmony of their movements, the rhythm of the ritual, and the soft assurance that waiting, tending, and holding space are themselves sacred acts. The lamps flicker gently in the night, and the water catches their reflections, multiplying the soft glow into a field of stars both above and below. A low murmur of song rises from the women, soft and soothing. The melody moves slowly, carrying a sense of completion without urgency, a sense of fulfillment without clamor. It is a song that has existed for generations, whispered from hand to hand, heart to heart, The notes flow like water, drifting around the altar, curling softly around the stones, the lamps, the petals, and into the open night. You feel the sound vibrating in the chest and settling in the mind, carrying away any lingering tension, leaving only calm awareness and gentle reverence. Above, the sky deepens to a darker blue, and stars begin to multiply, shining with steady patience. The altar seems to respond, each flame flickering a little brighter, as though acknowledging the celestial light that hovers above. You notice how the lamp flames sway slightly with the breeze, creating soft patterns of movement that mirror the twinkling of stars, the slow pulse of night, and the gentle rhythm of devotion. Each flicker is a tiny heartbeat, a soft reminder that presence is sacred, and that waiting can be joyful in its own quiet way. The women kneel before the altar, hands resting lightly on their laps, eyes soft and focused on the glowing flames. Their quiet reverence fills the temple, their presence like a slow exhale, carrying peace into every corner of the sacred space. You feel your own body mirror their stillness, your mind softening, your breath lengthening. The night, the stars, the altar, and the tender light of the flames all seem to merge into a single, infinite moment of calm. A final lamp is placed gently at the heart of the altar. The woman who carries it leans slightly, her hands steady, her breath slow. She lets it rest, allowing the light to shine steadily, uninterrupted. Around it, the other lamps sway softly in response, reflecting in the bowls of water like tiny stars in a quiet constellation. You sense the lesson of the night, that devotion need not shout, that waiting need not strain, that the slow, attentive care of the present moment can create a beauty that stretches far beyond comprehension. Outside, the field is hushed, the wind a gentle pulse through the grass. The stars above glimmer softly, steady and eternal, and the temple glows faintly, a beacon of patience and light. You feel your mind float with the gentle rhythm of the flames, your spirit rising softly with each reflected star on the water, each flicker of golden light in the dark. Here you are cradled in the quiet embrace of ritual, devotion, and the slow, patient unfolding of the night. Let us drift onward now, carried by the gentle light of the lamps, the patient glow of the stars, and the soft reflections in the water. Let your mind and heart follow their rhythm, slowly, deliberately, allowing calm to deepen with every breath. Let the quiet lessons of devotion, waiting, and tender care settle into your being, filling the spirit with gentle warmth and luminous presence. Now rest as the stars above shine steadily, as the altar holds its soft light, and as the quiet night enfolds you in serene, unbroken calm. Let the heart learn from the patient glow, the attentive care, and the quiet devotion of this star-touched altar, and let your soul float softly into peaceful, restorative sleep. Night stretches wide, soft and dark, yet filled with a quiet, comforting light that comes from the stars above. You walk along a narrow path, bordered by gentle reeds and low-lying flowers, their petals brushing softly against the cool night air. Each step is measured and slow, as if the earth itself is holding you in gentle rhythm. The moon hangs low, spilling silver across the path, illuminating the entrance to a hidden temple whose walls seem to shimmer with an unseen glow. The temple is quiet, its gates open and welcoming. A soft veil, light as mist, drapes over the doorway, moving slightly with each whisper of wind. Behind it, the air is thick with calm, a serene stillness that seems to pause the world outside. You step closer, drawn toward the faint warmth of lamps inside, their flames flickering gently, casting soft golden reflections on polished stone floors. Here, the presence of Isis can be felt, not in sharp clarity, but in a gentle, veiled radiance that fills every corner of the sacred space. Within, women move with quiet grace, their steps barely disturbing the hush of the night. Each carries offerings of water, petals, or oil for the lamps, placing them with tender care upon low altars that glimmer in the soft lamplight. Their movements are fluid, as if synchronized with the slow rhythm of breath and heartbeat. They are guardians of the veiled wisdom, keepers of Isis's teachings, and their devotion is silent, yet full of profound power. The veils themselves shift slightly, revealing glimpses of statues and carved symbols that honor Isis's gentle strength. Her form is serene, draped in flowing robes, a soft crown upon her head. She is both seen and unseen, present and distant, a quiet guide whose power is measured not in force, but in the patient, enduring light of her protection. You feel the stillness of her presence touch the edges of your awareness, settling deep into your spirit. Like water finding its way into every crevice of a quiet stone, soft chants begin, low and melodic, carried on the currents of air through the temple. Each note is deliberate, stretching slowly across space, weaving a gentle rhythm that wraps around every soul present. The words are ancient, spoken as if in a dream, not for instruction but for resonance. They speak of love held quietly, protection offered without show, and strength that is found in calm reflection. You breathe with the chant, inhaling its warmth, letting each exhale release tension that may have lingered through the day. A single lamp is carried toward the central altar, its flame small yet unwavering. The woman holding it pauses, bowing slightly, letting the flame rest gently before her. She spreads her hands near the light, as though sharing her own heartbeat with the flicker. The altar glows softly, reflecting the flame in shallow bowls of water placed around it. The water mirrors the light, the shapes of petals, the movement of veils, and the distant glimmer of stars through open windows. You notice how the reflections blend, forming a luminous harmony that seems both fragile and eternal. Each woman approaches in turn, placing offerings of petals or water at the base of the altar. Their motions are unhurried, each gesture considered, each movement a silent meditation. You feel the rhythm of their devotion seep into your own being. Presence itself becomes a sacred act, and waiting, tending, and observing transform into forms of gentle worship. The temple does not need words to teach. It teaches through stillness, through patience, through the soft echo of every careful gesture. Veils sway with the faintest of breaths, hinting at spaces beyond the immediate sight. Behind them, statues of Isis hold their quiet, eternal gaze. Each curve and line of the statue seems imbued with calm authority, reminding you that strength can reside in softness, that protection can be offered without clamor, and that love often whispers rather than shouts. Your body, your mind, your very spirit begin to soften in response, as if learning from the silent wisdom that the veils guard so tenderly. A gentle hum begins to resonate from the temple walls, the sound low and pure, wrapping around the altar and stretching outward like soft ribbons of light. The hum moves with your heartbeat, slowing it, deepening it, guiding you to match the rhythm of patience and reflection. In this quiet, the world narrows to the temple, the lamps, the veils, and the gentle presence of Isis, and nothing feels rushed or incomplete. Everything simply is, in calm and careful balance. Water is poured into bowls, petals are spread across stone surfaces, and every motion carries the weight of devotion without burden. You notice the reflection of the lamps in the water, each flame mirrored softly, and sense how every act of attention, however small, contributes to the whole harmony of the space. The temple itself seems alive with this slow, attentive energy, the gentle pulse of devotion that moves unseen through every shadow and beam of light. Isis' presence feels like a quiet current moving through the temple, touching the women, the altar, and the very walls themselves. Her power is not loud or demanding. It is patient, enduring, and protective. She teaches that strength and guidance can be veiled, that love can be silent, and that reflection and careful attention are as potent as any word or command. You feel your thoughts slow, your breath deepen, and your spirit becoming more attuned to this gentle rhythm. The women light additional lamps, placing them around the perimeter of the altar. Each flame leans slightly toward its neighbor, as if sharing warmth in silent communion. You feel the gentle harmony of the space, the soft echo of each movement, the invisible threads of care that connect every being in the temple. Every flicker, every reflected star, every sigh of air through the veils becomes a quiet lesson in patience, reverence, and enduring presence. A soft song rises, barely audible at first, carried on the faint movement of the air. It flows like water, smooth and slow, touching the edges of your awareness without demanding attention. Each note is delicate, echoing the principles of gentle guidance, tender protection, and love that is both firm and forgiving. The melody swirls around the lamps, around the altar, through the veils, and into your very heart, leaving only calm, steady warmth behind. You watch as a woman kneels near the central lamp, hands folded lightly, eyes resting softly on the flame. Her devotion is quiet, her attention unbroken. She breathes with the rhythm of the temple, and you notice your own body responding in kind. Each inhalation deepens serenity. Each exhalation releases any lingering tension. The night, the veils, the water, the lamps, the soft hum of song. All of it merges into a single luminous flow of quiet presence. Time seems to slow in this temple. The world outside fades into distance. You are held entirely in the rhythm of gentle devotion, the careful, measured attentions of the women, and the patient, veiled strength of Isis. There is no need for words or urgency. There is only the flow of care, the slow dance of light and shadow, the soft music of breathing and reflection. You feel cradled in this presence, enveloped in quiet warmth and timeless guidance. A final lamp is carried and placed at the heart of the altar. Its flame is steady, its reflection perfect in the water surrounding it. The woman who places it pauses, allowing her hands to hover gently, as if passing her own spirit into the glow. Around it, the other lamps seem to acknowledge its light, flickering softly in harmony. You sense that this is the lesson of Isis's veiled wisdom. Strength in quiet, love in stillness, protection in calm, and the enduring power of patient reflection. Outside, the reeds sway softly in the night breeze, carrying the distant hum of the temple into the fields beyond. The stars above twinkle with steady patience, and the moon rests low, casting silver across the path that led you here. Inside, the veils sway, the lamps flicker, the water reflects, and the song lingers gently in the air. You feel yourself merge into this quiet flow, carried on the soft current of devotion and presence. Let us drift onward now, floating with the gentle glow of the lamps, the veiled radiance of Isis, and the quiet rhythm of attentive hearts. Let your breath match the soft pulse of the temple, and let every thought settle like petals on still water. Let the patient veiled wisdom fill your being, teaching that love, care, and guidance are most profound when offered without hurry. Without noise and without expectation, now rest, as the veils sway softly, as the lamps shine steadily, and as the serene presence of Isis enfolds you in luminous, protective calm. Let your mind float in the gentle rhythms of devotion, your heart rest in quiet reflection, and your spirit be held by the enduring light of this sacred, veiled wisdom. The sky softens as the sun begins its slow descent, brushing the horizon with gentle hues of rose and amber. Light spills softly across the land, warming the edges of leaves and water without urgency, without sound. Shadows stretch long and serene, folding the earth into quiet shapes that invite stillness. You walk along a narrow path, each step cushioned by fallen petals, the soft sigh of wind moving through the trees like a tender whisper. The air smells faintly of jasmine and earth, warm and calming, carrying the sense that something gentle awaits at the path's end. Ahead, a clearing opens beneath an arching canopy of twilight sky. The light is tender here, neither bright nor dim, but poised in the balance between day and night. In the clearing, figures emerge slowly from the soft, dimming light. They are the sacred women of old, divine in presence yet gentle in manner. Their faces glow with calm understanding, their movements fluid and unhurried. They do not speak loudly. Their blessing is offered in quiet gestures, soft smiles, and the steady rhythm of their shared breath. The women form a circle beneath the first stars that pierce the sky. Each carries a small lamp, its flame flickering but steady, reflecting in the soft eyes of those who witness it. The circle is unbroken, continuous as a river's curve, and each woman's presence adds to the gentle warmth that fills the clearing. You feel the pull of their collective energy, a wave of calm that eases tension in the shoulders, in the chest, in the heart. A soft bell rings once, deep and low, carried across the clearing. Its sound is not sharp but full, vibrating in the air and through the earth itself. The women bow slightly, hands pressed gently together, offering an invisible blessing to all who have wandered here. You feel it pass through you like a slow wind, touching your mind, your heart, and the quiet corners of your spirit. Each exhale releases heaviness, each inhale draws in serenity. The women begin a slow movement, their arms rising in gentle arcs, their robes shifting like water over stones. Every motion carries a tender intent, as if painting the air with devotion and care. You watch the flow, and in watching, your own body and mind begin to echo the rhythm. There is no rush. There is only the quiet dance of presence, teaching the patience of breath and the stillness of heart. Soft incense drifts from small burners placed at the center of the circle. Its fragrance is subtle, a mingling of lavender, sandalwood, and a hint of honey. The scent carries memory and warmth, guiding the senses into rest. Each inhalation is a soft blessing, each exhalation a release of the day's lingering cares. The air itself seems to pulse gently, a quiet rhythm that matches your own heartbeat, slowing it, deepening it, anchoring you in this moment of twilight and devotion. The women step closer to the center of the circle. They bend over small bowls of water, letting their fingertips skim the surface. Tiny ripples spread outward, catching the light of the lamps, reflecting the first stars above. The movement is delicate, intentional, and imbued with a sense of connection across time. You sense the women reaching through the centuries, offering the calm of their lessons, the quiet patience of their guidance. Each ripple seems to carry a whispered blessing, soft and unhurried, passing gently into your own awareness. A hush settles over the clearing. Even the wind stills as if waiting. The women raise their hands in silent invocation, palms open toward the sky. The stars twinkle faintly as though responding to the call. Their gestures are not demands nor instructions. They are invitations to receive, to rest, to allow the light of the divine feminine to settle softly within. You feel a warmth spreading through your chest, gentle as candlelight, filling spaces that may have been tense or cold. The moment stretches like slow silk, soft and unbroken, and you breathe along with it. One by one, each woman places a small flower at the edge of the water. Petals float lightly, turning slowly as the lamps reflect in the calm surface. Each flower is a prayer, a blessing, a symbol of love and patience. You notice how effortlessly the ritual unfolds, each motion teaching the quiet art of attentive presence. The petals, the lamps, the reflections, and the first glimmering stars all blend into a single, luminous meditation. From the edge of the circle, a soft chant begins. It is low, unhurried, each note stretching into the next without break. The sound moves like water, flowing around your mind, around your thoughts, around your awareness, until all that remains is the gentle pulse of devotion. Words are not necessary. The tone itself carries meaning, a soft echo of care, protection, and quiet guidance. You feel the resonance in your chest, your shoulders, your forehead, letting the mind soften, letting the muscles release their day's tension. The sacred women bend toward each lamp, breathing softly, their exhalations mingling with the flickering flame. In their careful attention, you learn the patience of presence, the soft power of devotion that does not demand but quietly nurtures. Each lamp shines not only outward but inward, illuminating hidden corners of the spirit with gentle, steady light. The moment is tender, like the first sigh of evening as the sun leaves the sky, and you feel yourself carried in the same slow, luminous flow. A small harp begins to play somewhere within the clearing, its strings plucked lightly, deliberately. The notes drift through the circle, mingling with the faint hum of chant and the soft rustle of leaves. Each tone stretches into the next, creating a soundscape of serene devotion. You feel as though the music flows through your veins, harmonizing with the rhythm of your own breathing, and inviting your spirit to settle into the calm of twilight. The women move closer together, forming a tighter ring around the central lamps. Hands hover briefly over the floating petals, fingers brushing the surface of water, then gently withdraw. Every gesture is unhurried, every motion deliberate and full of meaning. You realize that devotion does not need to be loud or dramatic. It is found in the softness of attention, the care in each movement, and the patience of the heart. A soft wind stirs the petals, and they drift lazily across the water like small boats carrying invisible messages. Each petal seems to carry the blessing of the women, their quiet strength, and the patient love that flows through their presence. You watch them move, and the act itself becomes a meditation, teaching that letting go is as sacred as holding, and receiving as gentle as giving. The sun dips fully behind the horizon, leaving only the glow of the lamps, the glimmer of stars, and the quiet shimmer of the first moon. The sacred women kneel together, hands folded softly in front of them. Their eyes are closed, their breaths calm and even. The circle feels complete, filled with the soft pulse of blessing, reflection, and gentle protection. You feel a deep settling within yourself, a sense of harmony with the rhythm of the temple, the lamps, the petals, the water, and the twilight sky. Time becomes fluid here, unmarked by urgency. The sacred women rise slowly, moving toward the edges of the clearing, their presence fading like mist, yet leaving a residue of calm. The last lamp is tilted slightly to catch the moonlight, its reflection mirrored perfectly in the still water. A final soft bell rings, low and vibrating, sealing the blessings in place as if to say that all that has been given will remain quietly, patiently within your spirit. You breathe deeply, feeling the ebb and flow of the energy around you, the gentle imprint of care and patience left by these divine presences. Each exhale releases the day's tension. Each inhale draws in serenity, grounding you in this moment of sacred stillness. The soft glow of lamps, the lingering scent of incense, and the first whispers of night's cool air carry the promise of rest. Let us drift onward now, floating with the quiet circle of lamps, the gentle ripple of petals across water, and the patient blessings of the sacred women. Let your body relax into the calm of twilight, your mind softening with the tender rhythm of their presence. The world outside need not intrude. Here, under the first stars and moonlight, you are held in the slow, gentle embrace of devotion, love, and patient guidance. Now rest, as the lamps flicker softly as the petals float, and as the sacred women retreat into quiet shadow, leaving only their blessing behind. Let your thoughts dissolve like the last light of day, and your spirit settle into the calm, luminous rhythm of twilight. You are safe, cradled in the presence of gentle power and ready to drift peacefully into dreams.